Hello viewers, Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. How are we all today? Wherever you are in the world when you're watching this, a huge shout out to you. Thank you for your support of the channel. Okay, so I wanted to look at some questions from viewers and really take a look at where things stand generally in the US with the election. Perhaps to have a look at the Electoral College as well. I was up early this morning. I've done a good morning's work. I keep getting that image of chop that wood. And of course, I've been for a walked the dog this morning, and been out and done a whole host of things from jobs, chores, family business through to things for myself. So it's summer here in Australia, which of course is in stark contrast to the Northern Hemisphere. And it is a beautiful day here in Oz, albeit a tad warm. We're approaching the middle of the day here. So it's lovely to speak to you here from Australia. All right, let's get started on some questions that generally either viewers have posed or have come up in the course of the last couple of days. But before we start, I'm just going to pull from the Aboriginal Oracle deck by Mel Brown. Just a couple of energy cards here to start the reading. Let's tune into the energy. So these are messages from Spirit for whoever's watching at the moment. At the time that they're watching, the right message will go to you. That's how it works. I've been doing this for a while now, and that's how it works. Okay, if you resonate with it, fine. If you don't, that's fine too. It's all pretty cool here, isn't it now? I have to say before I start, I loved the Biden-Harris economic policy picks. Again, it's just like, oh, sanity, beautiful sanity. Really reflective of the diversity of societies, not just yours. In Australia, we have a multicultural society here. And the current Conservative government is all about, men in suits and women complaining either about them being ignored and sidelined. It's the same sort of thing. But in the Biden-Harris pick, we have this beautiful diversity coming through. And it carries with it an abundant kind of energy. Not a closed off energy, but an energy that extends out to everybody. All right, so nice questions we're going to look at today too. But first to the energy reading. Show me what is the energy we're sitting in at the moment for the people that are watching. What are the key messages from Spirit that we need to be aware of today for those that are watching this video whenever they're watching? Key messages, please, Spirit. What are your key messages? So we have friendship. Isn't that beautiful? And I was, shuffling as I was talking about those hands, really encompassing everybody. There's so much light there and networks. The Indigenous peoples of Australia, First Nations, they do have this way of connecting things up, that we are all connected. And so this is the light, this is bringing in this inclusive type of energy. Perfect card to draw from this oracle today. Manifestation, and this is really a reflection of my my introduction to the card pull, that when you're in that inclusive energy, when your hands are outstretched, when you're able to give to others, you have this manifestation energy that's coming through. Now, I do acknowledge it is dark days in the US in terms of the coronavirus. I acknowledge that your hospitals are reaching capacity, and it is the legacy of the Trumpian years, particularly the last 12 months, that they would leave the country in such a poor state. Australia's premiers, which are like your governors, have led well during the COVID-19 pandemic, and as a result, our states are going pretty well. But of course, you've had this terrible travesty at the head of your federal government, and I acknowledge that. But this is the new energy that's coming through in 2021. If you haven't seen that reading, it finished on exactly 2021. And again, that's the kind of thing that Spirit will do to really get you to notice and get you to be aware that Spirit is all around us. Okay, so here's the dark days, okay, the confusion. And, it's sort of like, the fractured nature, not just in the US, but people they can't see the woods for the trees. There's been such poor leadership, which has been designed, to wake us up, that they're confused about what's at the base of the pack. They're confused about the truth. And of course we have, interestingly enough, it looks like all the chakras here on a road that leads to the light. So many cards. So there's confusion and darkness around the truth still. However, this is the energy going forward. Spirit also wants you to know that there is an achievement here, that as frustrating and as dark as the days got, there's an achievement, and that achievement happened in the US on the 3rd of November. And, I had a lot of, not bets going, but people challenging me, saying that Sideshow Don would win. And I said, no, he won't. And I, stuck to that. And so it's nice to know that that we've got this new way forward that I hope is less confusing for people. All right. I don't think I need to pull from the Mystic Shaman deck. I'll just put that. I am running out of space. I have to expand my desk to cater for the number of card decks that I've got, which I don't know how many there are, but there are a lot. Okay, so let's move to the Golden Tarot. So I used my Aboriginal Oracle by Mel Brown, if you're interested in looking that up. And now I'm moving to the Golden Tarot, and I'll clarify with Rider-Waite. So, as you would have seen, a delegation from the current White House, Sideshow Don's son-in-law, is going to the Middle East. What is all this about? You've had the Iranian scientist assassinated. There's no apparently about it. My feeling was that Israel was involved. This reading may or may not be correct. It's for entertainment purposes only. And I'm getting a ring in my ear telling me that Israel probably was involved, but so was the US. And for all sorts of reasons, including making it difficult for President-elect Biden to renegotiate that nuclear treaty. So, war is business too, isn't it? Arms sales are business. So let's have a look at why he was there. My initial intuition told me that he was there to discuss what and ratify what has gone on in the past in front of Biden coming in, just to make sure loyalties were there, to shore up any secrets, make sure everybody was on the same page. So, and business and finance as well is all a part of that. So when power structures change, people often sell out those that were in power before. So that was my initial impression, that he's gone there to make sure everybody's on the same page and loyal, and not spilling any secrets from the past. Let's have a look. Why is Jared in the Middle East? And his own business, finishing up business before the new president comes in. So why was Jared and his encore delegation, why have they gone to the Middle East? So we have the Two of Cups. Yeah, commitments and contracts is the signifier card. I'll bring the laptop down. Let's see what is crossing that there. Retreat and loss. Okay, so this is as I thought. It's post Sideshow Don's loss, and it is to shore up those commitments and contracts. They don't want anything to slide back. And we've got the Seven of Swords as the foundation of the reading. So this is deceit is at the foundation here. Whatever he says as the reason for going there, it's a deception. In the past, we have the Queen of Wands, which is this, to me, represents the march of women voting. I looked at something today. The Queen of Wands. This is also can represent the Vice President-elect as well, Kamala Harris. Suburban women were responsible in those swing states for Biden's win. They got behind him. They did in the midterms, and they did it again. They did it again in 2020. Okay, so it is all about money. The Ten of Coins talks to me about the Trump organisation, Jared Kushner's organisation, dark money, big money and politics. This is crowning the reading. He's there for money and his own business interests. All right, so let's keep going. The Ten of Cups in the immediate future. They still want them to support, but this is also, I'm getting a vibe here of his family, which is interesting. I'll draw some clarifiers there. The Empress in the here and now is my card for Russia. So Russia is here in the mix. Russian interests are here in the mix. This is the shadow foreign policy yet again raising its head. And here we have the world beginnings and endings. So it's about money, it's about their own personal business, but it's also doing some sort of Russian bidding as well, potentially. Let's keep going. Judgment in the hopes and fears. Yeah, they're fearing the change of power structures, absolutely. And we do have deception here. We do have money here, and we do have the election loss. Judgment. Beginnings and endings. They're fearing that switch over of power and where that will leave them. The outcome is they're carrying burdens. The Ten of Wands. 10 of Coins, 10 of Wands, they're carrying burdens. And it is the devil, greed and avarice here. One last trip to, this is, blurring reality, deception, delusion, making sure that when the power structures change, the deception is kept hidden. Now, there is this, at the base of the pack is Trump. Okay, so he's also covering his father-in-law's back here. They do not want former allies turning on them in the future. There could even be, with these cards here, a little bit of blackmail going on as well. They have no power structure to blackmail from. They don't have power anymore, and that's why the Ten of Wands is there. Now, the King of Coins is there and the Magician, so we do have manipulation here and manifesting something, so it's all about making it difficult for Biden when he comes in. Now, I'm very interested in this Ten of Cups, the Ten of Cups energy, because to me that smacks of the Kushner-Trump families. Let's have a look at what's going on. So all of the above, if it's deceptive, all of the above with them. All right, what's this Ten of Cups here? Can you explain that, please, Spirit? My initial feelings is a relocation. What is this Ten of Cups? Yeah, so we've got money, family money. And we have the smug merchant. So there is definitely business interests and the spy in the camp. That's there. He's going there for business interests. That wanted to flip out as well, the Ten of Swords, which is interesting. It's the downfall card and the loss card. So rather than going in the throes and the blush of power, they're going in the throes of loss. And that's why it makes it difficult. So no, it's not a relocation. It's his own business. He and Trump's business interests. All right, they're entwined, and they always have been. Let's go to let's take a look at the runoff for John Ossoff and Reverend Warnock in Georgia. This is on January the 5th. There's been all sorts of things about Republicans staying away due to Trump's banging the unreality bell about election fraud. So let's have a look here. It's an absolute disaster, isn't it? Sideshow Don's presidency, absolute unmitigated disaster. If a tsunami went and washed across the entire country, it still wouldn't have done as much damage as what his presidency did. And I'm going to COVID-19, where you're at with that, and everything else. Ossoff and Warnock. Okay, let's take them one at a time, please. Spirit, I'm wondering about the Georgia runoff. January the 5th, I think that is. Will the Democratic Party pick up seats? Will the Democratic Party be successful? Will the Democratic Party be successful in the Georgia runoff? So let's just get a feel. So Jupiter, the Wheel of Fortune, expansive Jupiter. We will have already had our Saturn and Jupiter moving into Aquarius in December, and conjunct on the 21st of December. So the runoff is on 5th of January, and we pull the Wheel of Fortune. That's a nice card. The giving and receiving of help, the Six of Coins. People will perceive these candidates as being able to help them, is what I'm feeling. That they don't think there's been enough help from the previous senators. Now, we've got the Eight of Cups, turning away from something which no longer serves them. Now, it could be also here. I'll just see if I can do a bit of a Celtic cross on this. We've got the Six of Coins here. They could see Loeffler. I think she's in trouble there. But there's also this massive amounts of money that is being, pumped into this. Eight of Cups is the foundation here of the reading. Let's keep going. The Nine of Wands in the past, battle weary, having to put up barriers. It's not, this whole election process has been pretty diabolical. People are feeling with COVID, all feeling like, they want to move on. Six of Swords, they do want to move on, and we have a healing, moving out of troubled waters into calmer waters. Six of Wands in the near future that talks about a victory, a healing, a victory. They are going to move away from what they feel is no longer serving them. They are feeling like this. It was a major victory to win Georgia. So I caution you that there are two things here that jump out at me. A lot of money is being thrown at Georgia, and people are tired. Now, in the here and now, we've got the Hanged Man. So this is something being suspended, stalled. The Two of Wands, a plan that comes to fruition in time. Be patient. But it's also he's moving forward. So he's looking at the Hanged Man, and he's moving forward. Let's see. In the hopes and fears, we have the Ten of Coins, family money, family legacy, what people have to pass down, lack of money, lack of family money. And we have in the outcome position the Emperor. Now, next to the Six of Swords, The Emperor card, of course, is the president. It's also taking control, and is also my card for Trump. But clarifying that is the Three of Swords, which is heartbreak and loss, and strength. Now, tarot is not straightforward. It will give you a complexity of messages here. There are challenges in winning. I'm acknowledging that. But it looks like here, this is also a yes card. If I went straight for a yes card, I've got yes, no, and yes again. So, with the Eight of Cups as a loss here, I'm going to go, so I'm feeling that you may pick up one seat. But if I looked at that outcome card, it is a straight out yes. And if I read it, the Emperor as Trump, we have heartache and the Eight of Cups, which are coming up for him all the time now. Let's have a look at them individually, because this could be why it's complex. All right, let's take a look at John Ossoff. His mother is Australian, by the way, if you didn't know that. Okay, so John Ossoff, how's he going to go? John Ossoff, how's he going to go? Let's have a look here. I feel something unexpected will occur in Georgia. John Ossoff. Now, people are being taken off rolls, so there's a lot of voter suppression there going on at the moment. If any of my viewers are watching from Georgia, make sure you're registered to vote. You don't assume that your name will still be on the poll. So let's have a look. High stakes game here. High stakes for the Republicans to retain control of the Senate. John Ossoff in Georgia, will he be successful in the runoff? John Ossoff. Someone's handing him a cup. John Ossoff, will he be successful? So we've got the Wheel of Fortune, which is, I'm thinking he will be successful. Challenged by this Ten of Swords as the signifier card. Let's keep going, and we have endings here. Let's keep going. Duplicity. So, as I said about the roles, this is voter suppression here. The Five of Wands, partisanships, putting obstacle and challenges in his way. The Hermit, I think there's going to be something that might occur in the Georgia election that will the Democratic Party will want a review of. This is talking about a review, holding back information. This is what the runoff is going to be like, or it is at the moment. But there is strength there. There is still strength, even though those people that lined up for 10 hours in the midst of a pandemic are tired and weary of having to battle voter suppression. There's still strength. They do not want Trump to win. The High Priestess is keeping secrets here. In relation to Ossoff, and we've got the World card, endings and beginnings, and the Nine of Wands, yeah. Okay, what I think might happen with him, there's some kind of deceit going on here with him, voter suppression, which will need to be investigated, and his result may not be known in time, because I think it's actually going to the courts. The Ace of Swords is the truth coming out, and the Hierophant is the court here, and the Ace of Coins, two aces. So it could be something like he initially looks like he's lost. They challenge it. They ask for recounts. It's going to go down that way, I think, for him. I do feel they'll get, but it could be, at the end of the day, it's shown that he actually did win. Let's take a look at Warnock. It's complex. It's not easy, the runoff, not at all. Let's have a look at Warnock. I'm feeling pretty good, a good vibe for him. But that could be wishful thinking. Well, Reverend Warnock, who is a reverend in Martin Luther King's church. Let's see, will Reverend Warnock up against Kelly Loeffler, throwing the money like it is lollies at the election or the runoff? Will Reverend Warnock be successful? Will Reverend Warnock... Okay, I think I'm getting the Wheel of Fortune here. The Three of Cups is a celebration. It's a celebration. And he's challenged. He's challenged by manipulation, you know. But the Three of Cups is a good card. Also, I've got the Wheel of Fortune, that Jupiter energy. So it's still open for both of them to take a win. The foundation of the reading is the Five of Coins. Now, what I see that is people are suffering. People don't have what they need. People don't have the money to put food on the table. In the past, we have the Ten of Swords. To me, this is all voter suppression, and it's why these readings are complex, because of what's happened in Georgia. It's like a case study in what's wrong. The Nine of Coins sitting above the reading or crowning this is Kelly Loeffler, luxury. You know, insider trading, all these allegations have been levelled at her. That's in the sky. Six of Wands in the immediate future is victory. So, again, John Ossoff got that as well. The Five of Cups in the here and now. People are grieving, absolutely grieving. But the atmosphere around is the Magician card. So there's almost like there's a will here, a divine will in relation to Georgia, in the hopes and fears they just don't want to be heartbroken again. There's so much grief here at the way the vote has been shifted and suppressed. Six of Swords, a healing, the healing card. Six of Wands, they're moving away, out of troubled waters, away from this Nine of Coins energy. Yeah. Ace of Cups. All right, so there is something presented to him and the Wheel of Fortune. So I'm going to say from these cards, these outcome cards, Queen of Coins, stability, and moving away from that illusion, delusion. These outcome cards are very good for Reverend Warnock. We have the Six of Swords, moving away, moving out of troubled waters, clarified by the Ace of Cups, a new start, a new emotional start, and we have our Wheel of Fortune here. So, if I was a betting person, which I'm not, and these cards can be right and wrong, I've always felt that one is a reasonably clear victory, and with Ossoff, there's some deception going down there. All right, so but he did get that Six of Wands, I think, in the near future, and he got the Emperor card, which is, of course, a yes in the tarot. So we'll see. We'll see. All right, so one last reading, because I was going to do so much today, and then I just get sidetracked. I want to go to Australia and China. There's a real, a war of words going on here. I don't want to background it too much, other than to say that Australian soldiers were accused of war crimes in Afghanistan. A certain percentage of soldiers are now, we're taking action on that. China posted something on social media which depicted Australian soldiers slaughtering people in Afghanistan. Our Prime Minister came out very aggressively and demanded an apology. China has basically said no. We've had trade issues with China. China's on the front foot with Australia as a result of our Prime Minister doing Trump's bidding and calling for that very aggressively, calling for that investigation on China in relation to COVID. Surprised me at the time. It's now been revealed that the State Department in America gave our Prime Minister's party think tank money to investigate, China's part in COVID. The battle lines have been drawn. It's very worrying for Australians because we don't have the capacity that the US has in terms of firepower. I mean, God, hope it would never come to that. But my feeling, my intuitive feeling is this. I feel China is going to play hard with us now, really hard, at a time when they know that it's going to inflict the most economic damage. It was extremely just plain stupid of our Prime Minister to get involved in the way that he did, and when hard diplomacy could have worked just as well. This was not diplomacy of any sort. This was China bashing. And a lot of people in our country joined in. And so China is our biggest trading partner, and it's going to make us pay. And our growers, our farmers are really going to suffer as a result. Everybody's going to be looking for new markets. It's going to be very competitive out there. Let's have a look. We do need to stand up to China. We have stood up to China in the past, but we've always done it diplomatically, through the diplomatic channels. That didn't happen this time. We did it publicly, and that has been a mistake. So, show me, will this war of words, will this China-Australia war of words escalate? Show me what's going to happen there. Will this... It's like a David and Goliath. They're really going to show that they're the giant here. It's about trying to put us in our place, well and truly in our place. And it's quite precarious for Australia, for Australian growers and Australian trade. Will this escalate? Will this trade war of words escalate between Australia and China? Oh, okay, so yeah. So the Knight of Cups. All right, so Australia might turn around and try and accomplish more with diplomacy and make offers here. The Knight of Cups. It could be they're already doing this, but that is the initial card. It's like China wants. It's not an apology, but they're really. This is emotions as well, because you've got all the water behind this knight. So looks like there's going to be an offer of some sort made. It is clarified by the Three of Coins, which is this money in politics. China is punishing Australia for its role, its allegiance to Sideshow Don. But this working in teams, working through diplomatic circles is out. It's not on the table, and it's challenging this knight. So there can be no smoothing over while ever people aren't working together. And that, so they're the signifier cards. And the Seven of Swords is deception all around. Australia should no more roll over for China than what they should roll over for any dictatorship. But there are lies and deceit here, probably on both at both levels. But we know that, which is why diplomatic channels are so important, because it's not just one country. It's working with allies. It's working not to single out any one country, and it's reducing risk of exactly what's happening now. But there is lies and deceit here, deception. There's deception here, which is interesting if we dig down, and I know I'm running out of time. The truth is in the past here, or the lack of truth, and the Five of Wands. So China feels as though, I'm just going to, regardless of, what your view is, China feels Australia has been deceptive and has hidden things, but it's also doing it for its own reasons as well, to create war, this kind of partisan war in Australia, to fracture our society. So in a way, China is doing to us what Russia did to you. And there's deception there. China is doing this for their own aims. And again, diplomacy avoids this situation. Whenever you get into this situation, you're on the back foot. there is delusion here. There is illusionary stuff going on here. All is not as it seems. China has certain names. Australia has certain names. It's a mess, is what I want to say. It's a mess. However, that Knight of Cups is there. The Star, which is a healing here. I think that the government, our government, may try and heal this in some way through diplomatic channels. The Three of Cups in the atmosphere around. Yeah, there's something going to come forward, some breakthrough in the situation is going to come forward. In the hopes and fears, we've got the Nine of Pentacles. This, of course, is what's at stake: trade, commerce, and we've got the Ace of Wands here. Somebody's coming forward with a plan to try and heal this. Is this Biden? The Lovers. Okay, so we also have the Ace of Wands and the Lovers, and then the Five of Wands and the Empress, Russia and Trump. It does our heads in, doesn't it? The way that foreign policy has been, muddied and soiled in the last 4 years. That the strength of diplomacy has taken a back seat to this. Five of Wands, partisanship. Somebody is going to, I think it's Australia, is going to approach China in a way that tries to mend fences. They might send an envoy over there, and it is going to result in a new way forward. So there's going to be a breakthrough. Two of Cups, yeah. This is the relationship between the two has come to the crossroads. And so all these issues about China's dominance of Australia, Australia's lack of forethought, the Trumpian connections between the current government, the missteps on both parts, the deception of China wanting its own aims, pushing us around in order for control as well, that somehow somebody is going to enact or there's going to be a breakthrough, and we've got a new plan going forward. So that's currently in the works at the moment. So I don't think it's going to escalate. I feel there's going to be a new start in some way. I also get China feeling like it's been disrespected as well. See, as I said, things are very complex. I'm not a diplomat, but a diplomat would probably, one of Biden's diplomats would probably be able to explain the situation better than I, but it looks like there's going to be a diplomatic breakthrough of some sort in the future around this. Really what is now a very fractured relationship where both sides are not being totally honest about what's occurred and why, and what their longer term goals are. This is payback from China to Australia, but there's going to be some kind of breakthrough here. We do need to get this right here in the Pacific region. We absolutely need to get this right. All right, so perhaps Biden will step in. Biden's diplomats might be able to help. I hope so. A lot of change going on at the moment. A lot of change. Thanks for tuning in.